Look, I'm on. Hey. I've almost forgotten how to live stream. Haven't done this for like, what is it now? 2 months? Oh my gosh. But here I am. Okay. Live streaming. Woo! How's everybody doing tonight? I am here and ready to have some fun and talk about herbs as I do on my channel. So let's get right to it. My main question today for everybody is like, how late do you plant your herbs? I mean, obviously they're mainly prolific over the summer, and if you try and go, too late, a lot of them won't be successful because they need the light, and a lot of them need the heat as well. And this obviously only applies to if you have certain circumstances, right? So if you are trying to plant outside or inside and don't have the assistance of a grow light or a greenhouse or anything like that. Obviously, if you've got grow lights, you can plant them whenever the heck you want, and you have a way to keep them warm. Yeah, you can plant year-round, no problem. So if you want to plant year-round, the grow light and a place to keep it warm, either a greenhouse or some insulated place in your house, is your best option. Boom, right there. See you later. But if you're trying to just say, I'm going to plant outside, or I'm just going to plant indoors without that assistance, what's the time frame that you have? How long can you go, right? So when we're talking about that, generally we're looking at a little bit of a shorter time frame. Probably, I would say, it depends on the herb, right? Because some really handle being out longer than others. Some are perennials that you could essentially plant them now and they could come back next year even if they don't grow much for the rest of this year. But planting in, say, August is not out of the question. I actually have just finished using up a couple basil plants that I'm going to replant, and I'm sure I can get something off of them before the year is out. That is not a problem. It's more when you start talking, okay, September, is October too far? And that really just starts really depending on the herb that you're talking about. So all of the Mediterranean herbs, for the most part, are perennials. So when we are talking, say, things like the thyme, the rosemary, the sage, the lavender, even mint. Even obviously, mint is a beast and can grow under almost any conditions. So yes, all of these guys are perennials and can definitely be planted late and come back the next season because of the fact that they do grow year after year like that. But when it comes to basil, I really can't get away without extra assistance with planting it any later than August, I don't think. I mean, I would say if I'm going to try and do it, yeah, August is probably as late as I'm going to be able to pull it off, right? Otherwise, I would say just look at what you're trying to get out of it. I mean, if you're looking at something like fennel, fennel, in order to grow to its full size, is going to need more time, right? So I would say if you're going to try and grow fennel, don't grow it now because it's not going to have the time to get to its full stage. Dill, I could still grow. I could still definitely grow dill. Now, a lot of people say when you get to this point of year you can't, but I find that dill I can easily get growing quickly and get enough to use within a short time frame. But it's usually from the time I plant it to the time it grows, I can get a dill within a month. And yeah, if I plant it now or even, in the next couple of weeks, I can have enough dill to use before it gets too late and it won't be growing anymore. So that is definitely a possible one for sure as well. It really just, I think it just depends on which one you're talking about. That's what it really comes down to. Yeah, I haven't been here for a while, so no one's on the live stream at the moment. So sad. Oh, my wife's in the background, and she's pregnant. Yay! For those who don't know about that, which is most of you probably. So hopefully some of you guys will be catching this up on the catch-up. But for now, I'll just keep talking unless somebody decides to show up. I know I just kind of threw this live stream up just a couple days ago, and I know when that happens, sometimes people don't come up. But let's keep chatting here. Right now, I have a couple different ones that I've used up that I want to replant. Like I said, there any variety of basil I can still do. So if I plant those now, I could probably still have plenty of basil to use in September, even in October. I've had basil here in the UK keep growing through October because we do tend to still get some swells of heat in October. It's really once that that heat level disappears that I can't get any more out of them, and by that November time the light's disappearing as well, and anything that's a soft stem herb that's not one of the woody herbs is more likely not to give you much after that point. So this once again comes down to, if you see that other live stream I did about woody versus green herbs, you can refer back to that as to which ones are which. Any of the green herbs are going to have a harder time with this. So yeah, I mean, a mint officially is still kind of a green herb when it grows up big, but it can still get, you know, a little bit of its base, a little bit tougher, a little bit woody. But mint is such a beast that can just take over your garden no matter what. It really doesn't care. As long as the mint will get started and you can get it growing in the first place, it doesn't care. It'll just keep growing and growing and growing, you know. So yeah, feel free to plant mint whenever. But if you're doing it from seed, yeah, really it is going to be best to not try and start your seeds this late, because mint from seed can actually be one of the harder ones to start from seed. If you're doing it from cuttings, that's another thing. So I could probably do cuttings now and get away with it because they'll have time to take. If you're going to do seeds this late with mint, you probably want to try and get them to germinate before you put them in the ground. So you're going to probably want to get like a wet cloth, put the seeds in there, and either just keep them on the counter or keep them in the fridge and let them try and grow out a little bit before you actually put them in the ground. So it's a little trick that you can use on a lot of herbs or other plants as well. Just get the seeds to start germinating before you actually put them in the ground to help them move along further. The other thing you can do is what I talked in one of my other live streams, is doing terrariums. So if you don't have a greenhouse, just create one of those little terrariums. Go back and watch that live stream, because that can help keep the heat in there. It can help keep the moisture in there that you need. And the only thing that you would be missing at that point would possibly be the light. So if you don't have a grow light, you can just get away with possibly even just doing some regular LED light on it. That can help, because that can help it a little bit. Obviously a full spectrum light is going to do more, and any of the grow lights can offer that. So that is the difference between trying to do that with the actual grow light compared to just the regular lights that you may have around the house, which is why you buy a grow light, you know. Just I mean, if you're gonna do that, try and do it without the light. At that point, you might as well just get a grow light, you know. But if you're like me, where you have a grow light but you don't really have much of a place to set it up, I would love to be able to set it up in, say, my shed even, and kind of have a mini greenhouse in there, or you know, set it up somewhere. But there's no power outside for me to set it up out there, and in my house right now, we really don't have it set up, and anywhere in here that I could possibly put a grow light in here that makes sense, where it's like I could create a little something in the office here, but we work in here all day long, so if having a bright grow light, I would basically have to create a whole cabin for it, so the light isn't making us go, oh, bright light. If you know what I mean. But yeah, that's the simple ins and outs of it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments when you guys catch up with this. August, September even isn't too late for a lot of herbs, especially when you're talking the woody herbs, the perennial herbs. You can get away with that for sure. Oregano is also one that can be perennial. I've got an oregano downstairs that have overwintered from last year, and it's started slow this year, but it's actually growing its best that it has right now this whole year. Earlier this year, I was like going, it doesn't seem to be doing much. Why did I keep this over winter? Why didn't I just restart it from seed? But right now, it's actually giving me quite a few little stems popping out. I've got a couple of ones that I need to replant. Like I said, the basil, I got a dill I need to replant. I probably could replant some new chamomile as well. I do have a perennial chamomile outside that gave me lots of flowers this year that's already been completely cut back. If I wanted to, I was thinking about starting a second one just because I use it, for teas and such. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones that I've used that I want to redo. Hyssop you can do. You can do marjoram. Most of your cooking herbs you can get away with doing still now in August into early September, depending on your zone. I mean, like I said, depending on how hot it is for you still. If it starts getting cooler, with less light, if the more you're heading down south towards the equator, you're going to still have more light than you are going to be up north. So the more further south you are with more light, the easier it's going to be to go later in the year. Okay? So there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Short, easy live stream. Answered your question. I figured I'd just throw this up here today to get me going again. And next week, I'm probably going to do another live stream because I've just got done doing my show up in town for the Secret Cinema Dirty Dancing. And now that that's done, I can get back to making videos. But I got a new salt video that I need to shoot and then edit still. And I got a couple more that I want to do. Like I want to add in some new ones. Besides the salt, I've just been doing nothing but salt, and I want to start giving you guys some variety. So I want to talk about thyme tea. If there's any other teas you specifically want me to cover before the end of this year, let me know. I'm happy to hit any teas that you think I should be covering right now. Because otherwise I don't have anything planned other than the rest of the salt world and the pepper world. And I'm talking about a couple of various teas. Someone I think a while back asked me for marigolds, so I might be hitting that tea in benefits as well. But yeah, if there's any other particular teas that you'd like me to cover as far as the benefits, let me know. Until next time, we'll see you around this time next week. Have a good one. If I can figure out how to turn this thing off. Yeah.